You've read that one text 11 times, and you still haven't hit send. Look at you, standing in a group chat like it's a courtroom, cross-examining a sentence you wrote yourself 30 seconds ago. Should I add a period? Does a period sound mad? Am I mad? Was I always mad? Nobody asked you these questions. Your brain volunteered. That's you. That's basically every person alive at some point today holding a full congressional hearing over something nobody else even noticed. And here's the part that should sting a little. The other person already replied LOL okay and moved on with their entire life. You're still building a legal case. It doesn't stop at texts either. You've rehearsed arguments with people who don't know they're in an argument. You've replayed one comment from years ago more times than you've called your own mother. You've mentally resigned from a job you don't even hate yet, packed an imaginary box, and walked out the imaginary door. So why does your brain do this? Why does it treat should I text back haha or LOL like a hostage negotiation? Here's the part that should not be true, but is. Your brain isn't broken when it does this. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem is what it was built for stopped existing a long time ago. For most of human history, thinking too little got you killed. A rustle in the grass that might be wind or might be a predator. You didn't have the luxury of shrugging it off. The humans who paused, replayed the sound, ran the scenario twice, checked the exits, those were the ones who made it to breakfast the next day. The ones who didn't overthink the rustle mostly didn't get a next day. So your brain built a system for exactly one job. Scan for danger. Loop on it until it's resolved. Do not let it go until you're sure you're safe. And that system worked so well it's still fully staffed and on shift right now, except the danger it's guarding you from is a group chat. You're not paranoid. You're just extremely well defended against threats that no longer exist. This is where it gets almost unfair. Your brain has a built-in bias toward the bad stuff. One awkward pause in a conversation gets replayed in full HD, slow motion, with commentary for hours. 10 compliments from that same conversation vanish like they were never said. That's not you being dramatic. That's a wiring choice. Bad news, once upon a time, kept you alive. Good news just felt nice. Guess which one your brain decided was worth remembering on a loop? And it gets worse once you add modern life into the mix. Because modern life is basically a machine built to hand your ancient threat detector more raw material than it has ever had to process in the history of the species. You used to worry about maybe a dozen people, your tribe. Now you've got hundreds of contacts, a feed that never ends, a read receipt that timestamps exactly when someone saw your message and chose silence. Your brain was issued a Stone Age radar and handed a satellite's worth of signal. Of course it's overheating. Here's a sentence that should not be true, but is. The average adult makes something like 35,000 decisions in a single day. What to wear, what to eat, what to say, what not to say, whether that email sounded passive-aggressive, whether it's too late to unsend it. 35,000. Your brain isn't lazy when it starts looping on the small ones. It's exhausted. It ran out of good decisions somewhere around lunchtime and started recycling the leftover anxiety instead. And overthinking feels productive. That's the trap. Sitting there, replaying the conversation, drafting the comeback you'll never say out loud, it feels like you're doing something, like you're solving it. You are not solving it. You are just running the same lap on a track that goes nowhere and calling it progress because you're out of breath. Here's the part that actually explains why you can't just stop thinking about it on command. The part of your brain in charge of talking you down, the calm, rational, adult in the room part, sits right behind your forehead. And it is, without exaggeration, one of the last things to fully switch on and one of the first things to go quiet under stress. Meanwhile, the part sounding the alarm sits deeper, older, faster, and it does not wait for permission. So when you're spiraling at midnight, you're not weak-willed. You're outnumbered. The ancient system showed up early and armed. The rational system is still putting its shoes on. This is also why overthinking loves the dark. Quietly, specifically, at night. No new information is coming in to interrupt the loop. No meetings, no traffic, no notifications to distract the alarm system. Just you, the ceiling, and a highlight reel of every mildly awkward thing you've ever said, starting from roughly age 11. And it's not evenly distributed either. Some brains run this system hotter than others. If you've ever watched someone shrug off an insult in real time while you're still drafting a rebuttal 3 days later, That's not a character flaw on your end. Some nervous systems are simply tuned to a higher sensitivity, more scans per second, more flagged threats, same hardware, different settings. So what do you actually do with a brain that treats a slightly cold text as a 5-alarm fire? You don't fight it. Fighting the alarm just adds another loop. Now you're overthinking the overthinking, which is genuinely the worst level of the game. Instead, you give the system what it's actually asking for. It's not asking you to solve the problem forever. It's asking for proof, right now, that you are physically safe. That's it. That's the whole request, buried under all that noise. Which is why the fastest way out of a spiral is almost never more thinking. It's a body signal. Movement, a different room. A breath that actually finishes. Something that tells the ancient guard on duty, stand down, there's no predator, just a text message. And maybe that's the actual twist in all of this. You were never broken for overthinking. You were running state-of-the-art survival software on hardware built for a world that mostly doesn't exist anymore. The rustle in the grass became a blue checkmark. The predator became a pause in a reply. Same alarm, smaller stakes, same you, standing there at 1 a.m., still convinced the whole tribe is one unread message away from turning on you.